What better way to start off the day than to have a beautiful sunrise look at the coast here at the beach. It's a beautiful morning. It is the weekend, so I'm expecting to see a lot of people today. And not only is it the weekend, but the weather forecast is supposed to be basically perfect, sunny and warm. So we're going to be seeing other people today. But the beach isn't what I came to this particular spot to show you. I came to this spot to see this. Not the seagulls, but that little river. And by little, I mean very little. So that's a river flowing into the ocean. It starts at a lake just over here. This river is at one time it was considered the shortest river in the world. I think now it's the second shortest river in the world. I think one in Montana displaced it. But this is called the Dee River. Let's go take a look. This river is a whopping 440 feet long. Let's go walk out onto the bridge and look down on it. Here's looking down on the river upstream from the bridge here. The bridge across the river. Got some ducks out enjoying their morning. And so this is the lake that is the start of the river. It flows 440 feet this way, and you can see the waves out there. That's the ocean. And so that is the entire length of this river, of the Dee River. But yeah, even though it's no longer recognized as the shortest river in the world, it's still a very short river, and the shortest river I've ever seen, for sure. I'm at the trailhead now. I am the only person here. It's 8:30, so still pretty early, still actually pretty cold. Colder than I thought it would be. I'm hiking down to the beach, down to Harts Cove. The sign here says this 2.7 mile hiker trail takes you past Cliff Creek and into the, what is that, Neskowin Crest Research Natural Area. It ends in a grassy meadow with no beach access. The first half mile of trail is rather steep. Okay. Let's do it. 2.7 miles to Cove. Ooh, it is chilly, chilly, chilly. I mean, it's really not that cold. It's high 30s, low 40s maybe, but it feels cold. It feels colder than that. I haven't really hiked very much on this trip. I've done little hikes, but I don't think any hike I've done has been more than 2 miles long. And this one will be, I think, about 5.5 total. So it feels good. It feels good to be hiking. It feels good to be stretching my legs and getting the heart rate up, and yeah, it feels really nice. I think the reason I haven't been hiking is that there's so much to see just directly on the coast itself that doesn't require hiking. I've been lured in by those things, but yeah, this feels good. This feels right. This is the right time in this trip for a decently sized hike. And I've got my first look at Harts Cove now. Can't really see it super well through the trees here. I think I'm ultimately ending up at this point over here on the far side of the cove. I think the view is much more clear from there. And I have about a mile left to go. Okay, I'm at Harts Cove. My GPS says that it was 3 miles to get here, and it took 1 hour and 10 minutes. The main attraction here is the waterfall flowing right into the sea. The creek that this waterfall is the end of is that last creek that I crossed. I think I found out about this hike by searching for coastal waterfalls. It's just something even more magical than usual. I mean, waterfalls are magical all the time, but when you find one that's dropping right into the sea, that's just doubly magical. So Harts Cove is back in here. I've kind of come out a little bit more to see this cove over here, with the waves slowly moving in. And then this is looking out toward the open expanse of the ocean. Good old Pacific Ocean. It's fun to watch the waves crash over on this rock too. And then over here, more open ocean and then a couple of capes. I think the cape in the middle ground here, this one is Cape Kiwanda, and then this one that juts out into the ocean is Cape Lookout. This is looking to the north. Just does the soul good to be out here to see this. And I'm the only one out here. I have this all to myself. Are these some... Out here, does that rock have some holes in it, some arches in it? Let's pull out the other camera and find out. Oh yeah, that is definitely two holes in that rock. Looks like a skull. You know, I don't think that this spot is necessarily more beautiful than other places I've been on the coast that you can basically just drive up to. But there's something to be said about A, walking there for a couple hours, well, an hour, a couple miles. It just makes the experience that much more, I don't know, valuable. You value it more because of the work that you're putting into it. And then also there's something to be said about having a place all to yourself, not having to share this with anyone. I can just enjoy this. I can soak it all in. It's mine right now, you know? And I don't know why that appeals to me, but it really does. And it makes it, definitely makes it worth it. What of you? So remember how I was the first car in the parking lot here? There are dozens now. Crazy. Alright, I am now in the city of Neskawin, the little town of Neskawin. Parked at the public parking area in town. I'm walking through this neighborhood on the little path here to the beach. And there's a section of the beach I want to take a look at. I don't know if it's accessible now. It's a beautiful morning here on the beach. It's a beautiful beach too, lots of people out. The beach isn't too crowded though, there's enough room for everyone here. It is windy and chilly though. There's a lot of this clear gloop on the beach here. I don't know if this is, I don't know what this is. Is this part of jellyfish? I don't know, someone tell me what all this is. These are all pieces of that same gloop. I just asked someone and they said that the little blobs of jelly are indeed jellyfish. I don't see any tentacles, I just literally see blobs of jelly. The beach is just covered with them around the high tide mark. I guess this one here looks a little bit more jellyfish-like. I'm not gonna touch it, but I can see how that could be a jellyfish. Oh, and there's a little natural arch over here on the side of this cliff. It's a little tunnel in the rock here. And I do need to cross this stream. There's a creek here. The creek flows from over this way, flows into the water. I do need to cross it, so I guess I'll just do that now. It's very cold water. Very cold. Ooh. And it was deep enough that I got my rolled up pant legs wet. That's great. Well, very few people over on this side of the beach. It's really nice. And what I wanted to see and what I wanted to show you is on the far end of this beach. So I did have to cross the creek there. And it looks like you can't see it super well today. I think that ideally you want to see it at low tide on a calm day. Right now is low tide on a kind of stormy, windy day, so the waves are coming up. But I think we can still get an idea of what this place is like and what I wanted to see and what I wanted to show you. So do you see the dots along the beach here? These aren't rocks, these are the stumps of trees. And they're covered in barnacles or whatever these are. But these are tree stumps. This is called the Neskowin Ghost Forest. So around a couple thousand years ago, there was an earthquake and a chunk of the land here slipped down to the coast, slipped down lower, and eventually it was buried over the years by sand. And they were like that for centuries and centuries. And then in the winter of 1997, 1998, there were a series of storms that removed a whole lot of the sand from here, and they revealed the stumps underneath here, underneath the sand. And so it's called the Ghost Forest because of that. You can see some of the wood, some of the exposed wood on this one here that hasn't been completely covered up with the barnacles. So this is the biggest one here, and I don't even see any wood on this thing now. Would you want to live like right on the beach, or would you be too scared of your house getting, I don't know, destroyed by the wind and the waves or something, or falling into the sea? Neat spot. Interesting little oddity here. It's cold and my feet are cold, so I'm gonna head back across the beach here, back across the creek, back across the other half of the beach, avoiding the jellyfish here as I walk barefoot. And then I don't even remember what the next spot on my list is, but I'll show it to you once we get there. All right, it's about an hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes later from the last spot from the beach. Drove north, and I am now at, what's it called? Cape Meares State Natural Scenic Area or something like that. Cape Meares is where I am. And there's one thing in particular that I want to see here, and I'm hurrying because there's not a ton of daylight left. There's one more thing I wanted to see after this, so I'm just gonna get in, get some footage, see the thing, and get out. So this is what I came here to see. This is the Octopus Tree. One of, if not the most unique trees I've ever seen. This is a Sitka spruce. And there's some debate about what caused this weird shape. The sign here says whether natural events or possibly Native Americans were the cause remains a mystery. The tree measures more than 46 feet in circumference and has no central trunk. Instead, limbs extend horizontally from the base as much as 16 feet out before turning upward. It's 105 feet tall and is 250 to 300 years old. And yeah, I read online that there's some thought that the Native Americans shaped the tree like this to bury their dead in it. I think they would lay them out on the horizontal parts. Very interesting. But again, like the sign said, there's some debate as to how the tree was actually formed this way, but it is huge. That is not something I've seen before, I have to say. That's pretty spectacular. Now let's go over here really quick before we leave. I think there's a nice viewpoint of the sea, so we might as well take a look while we're here. Gorgeous as always. And there's another hole, another little arch in that island out there, that rock. All right, on this episode of Tristan Tries a Different World Cuisine, for dinner each day, we have Chinese food. I'm in Tillamook, Oregon. It's time for dinner. I ordered some Chinese food and oh my gosh, this is a ton of food. I ordered the combo platter thing. I mean, that's giant. So we have Sichuan beef. I think this is sweet and sour chicken, pork fried rice, fried shrimp, and then I don't remember what this is. Barbecue pork, maybe? That is just obscene how much food that is. I'm not going to be able to eat all that. And I can eat a lot, but I will not be able to eat all of this. Well guys, I did my best. I tried my darndest. Couldn't finish it all. Didn't want to finish it all. But I made a pretty good dent. Should we see what the fortune cookie says? See what is in my future? You will have a pleasant trip. That is very, very appropriate. Can you see that? You will have a pleasant trip. That's great. Thank you. Good to know. I mean, it's almost over, but, you know, I still have to get home, so thank you. Thank you, Fortune. All right. Whew. I left room for dessert because we are in Tillamook, Oregon. And Tillamook, Oregon is the home to Tillamook. I don't know what the full name of the company is. Tillamook something something. So the company is Tillamook County Creamery Association, and it's a dairy co-op. But they sell their products under the Tillamook brand name. They make cheese, yogurt, and ice cream. I don't care for their yogurt very much, but their cheese is delicious. I get their thickly sliced cheese for my sandwiches, my deli meat sandwiches. And then I love their ice cream. Their ice cream is my favorite ice cream that you can get at the store. So I'm gonna head over there, and if you guys aren't familiar with Tillamook, I don't know if it's all over the country, if it's just in the West or what, but basically you can find their stuff in any grocery store in most of the Western United States. And they are based here in this town in Tillamook. They have a factory here that you can visit. In non-COVID times, you can tour the factory. In COVID times, I think you can just buy things. I think just like their store is open, which is fine. I want some ice cream, so let's go get some ice cream. We have arrived, friends. Looks like there's a line out in front to get in. They're probably limiting the number of people that they allow in. But I have a little bit of time, especially for ice cream. I feel like I'm making a pilgrimage here. These are cool. These are like a mini VW microbuses. This is like a micro bus. A nano bus. Here's the line. And here we are. I meant to record myself while I was ordering, but I was too excited, so I just went ahead and ordered. 1 scoop of cookie dough, 1 scoop of banana split. The wait in line there wasn't too bad at all. It took maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10. So I get the cookie dough at home. I really like it. So I know that's good. And the banana split I've never tried before, and I figured, hey, I'm at the HQ of this place, let's try a new flavor. So that's how that came about. Tillamook ice cream is very thick ice cream. That's one thing I really like about it. And mission accomplished. The banana split one was fine, not my favorite. It had maraschino cherries in it, which I don't care for, but overall I'm happy. Let's go find a campsite. And here is my home for the night. Free dispersed camping about 15 minutes from the Tillamook factory. I have to say that finding free campsites on this trip has been much easier than I thought it would be. I thought that because there isn't as much public land on the coast or along the coast that it would be harder, but it really hasn't been that bad. Every day when it's about time for me to find a place to camp, I whip out my phone. I'm using the Gaia app. I have basically all of Oregon downloaded, and then I also have the public lands overlay downloaded on top of that. So I can see, roads and cities and everything like that. Then on top of that is the public land overlay to make it clear where public land is, where private land is. And so when it's time for me to find a campsite, I pull out that app and I look to see where the closest public land is, where the closest either national forest. I think last night I was in national forest, but I've spent a few nights now in state forest, on state forest land. And that's where I am now. This is some kind of state forest. This is a great trip. I'm just having a great time. What could be better than walking along the beach, driving along the coast, seeing waterfalls, watching the waves crash, eating Chinese food, and then eating a ton of ice cream. Sounds like my perfect day. Thanks again to Grady for loaning me the Suburban, the Suboverland. If you guys are interested in learning more about Suboverland, head on over to suboverland.com. I will also put links to that website and to Grady's YouTube channel in the video description. This is the second time I've borrowed one of these from him. I borrowed one about, let's see, what was it? 6-7 months ago for a few days. I'm borrowing it this time for 7 or 8 days, and it's great. I really like it. This one is a 93. I think the last one I borrowed was a 2003 or a 2002, so this one's almost a decade older than the other one that I borrowed, and it shows in some areas just little things like the locks are a little bit fiddly to unlock or to lock on the driver's side door, and there are a few other little things that I have to get used to. But overall, as far as the main components in the thing go, I mean, it's just a tank. It's a rock. I haven't had any problems with it. Feels super solid. Definitely enjoying my time with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite part was. Have you guys been to this part of the Oregon coast? Let me know what you did and what you saw and what you thought about the things that I did and that I saw. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. Be sure to check out Adventure Know-How, my new site, where you can gain access to a map of all of my free campsites, plus monthly bonus videos that you won't find anywhere else. Learn more at adventureknowhow.com. And for links to everything else SUV RVing related, visit suvrving.com. Links to these sites and more will be in the video description.